This story is about the most important thing that keeps us motorcyclists on the tarmac. Other than our brain itself, perhaps the tires are the protagonists for any ride. They are our best friends that we must have faith in. Be it an adventure motorcycle, a superbike, a street bike, or even an intercontinental tourer. No matter how good the motorcycle is or how experienced the rider is, if that small contact patch, that of a size of 2 credit cards, fails, then inevitably we will fall. And depending on how you fall, where you fall, you may get away lucky or you may hit the ground hard. And that is what I have learned even after riding so many countries on so many motorcycles. And that is how Pirelli masterfully sums it up. Power is nothing without control. South Africa was a country that I always wanted to visit, and this was my chance. And what better than Pirelli inviting me to ride some of the world's best superbikes in South Africa, both on road and on the track. When you think of Africa, you think of wild animals, carefree, out in the wild, just like us motorcyclists. But I was here for motorcycling. But before that, honing my shooting skills in a different way on my second time on this African continent was always welcome. And if you're wondering, my first time in Africa was in Morocco when I did 3,000 kilometers on a Ducati Multistrada in 2013. But more about that in the description below. Right now, I was in the southernmost part, the Kruger National Park, which is also the oldest park in all of Africa. It covers just a shade under 20,000 square kilometers, almost the size of the country of Israel. You can take weeks or even months to explore the park, but we had only 2 hours to sample it in an open jeep. And even those 2 hours, what I experienced was magical. Giraffes, zebras, elephants, and what not. I cannot imagine what magnificent natural treasures this place would hold if one stays in it for weeks. Experiencing the night skies to changing weather and the biodiversity offered by its 2,000 plant species and 150 mammal species with over 500 bird species populating the skies, and more than 100 species of reptiles including pythons and 3,000 crocodiles. The chances of you spotting one of the big fives is also quite high if you just spend more than a few hours here. The Big Five is a collective term given by the hunters to the 5 most dangerous animals to hunt on foot: the lion, the rhino, Cape buffalo, and the leopard. However, hunting is strictly prohibited now in the park. And I was wondering that Pirelli had chosen just the right roads outside the park to give us a taste of the new Diablo Rosso Corsa 2s and its on-road capabilities. And it was time for us to be free, just like those wild animals in the park. The first segment of the tire test involved us riding an assortment of some of the world's best engineered two-wheelers out there. All were shot with the Pirelli Diablo Rosso Corsa 2. Motorcycle test riders and journalists were present from some of the best publications from a lot of countries around the world. And I was the only one from the Indian subcontinent. It was hard to decide which bike to ride amongst so many world-class machines. So I let the others pick what they wanted first. But as fate would have it, I got the bike that I wanted anyways. And this is the first bike that I'll be riding. The S1000RR with the new Rosso Corsa 2s. So let's see how they perform. I hope it doesn't rain. Let's see.
Claro, from when you sleep. This bike is very powerful.
So the ride ends after 170 kilometers, and I've actually ridden two bikes today. The new GSXR 1000R and the S1000RR. And somehow I found that this bike has better torque in the lower range, but I think both bikes are extremely fast. But talking about fast and being powerful, what Pirelli says is that power is nothing without control, and that's why we are here. So far, I found the new Corsa 2s extremely versatile, because we found grain, we found loose gravel, and we found smooth tarmac, and they did perform quite well. The road is not a racetrack. As a motorcyclist, we know what insane amount of difference the road and the track conditions offer us. And therefore, having the ability and the experience to make a tire for a 200 horsepower motorcycle that would enable one to ride the bike both on the road and a racing track is beyond amazing. The same tire, that is. Pirelli wanted us to know exactly that. After riding around the Kruger National Park country roads, we head to the only racetrack of the African continent, the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit, which was recently reopened thanks to a guy and a racer visionary called Toby Venter. It's 4.5 kilometers long, and it's the only premier class circuit in the whole of African continent. And it was time for me to ride there on some of the world's best superbikes. So each of us were given a few motorcycles to try out on the track. And then there was an official Pirelli rider who was supposed to follow each of the journalists around the track for one lap. My rider happened to be one of the world champions, Manuel Poggiali from San Marino, who was a 2001 125cc world champion. An interview with him in his home country of San Marino is at the end of this video. Anyway, so here we go.
Ready to move.
First, him trailing me, which was, I'm sure, as easy as walking for him. The Pirelli Diablo Rosso Corsa's racing profile, and the ultra soft and sticky corner compound, which is made up of the super quick heating carbon black, did give me a lot of confidence on a new bike like the R1. Enough for me to actually scrape my elbow on my second lap. Now, as a matter of fact, yes, the R1 is a fantastic bike, but without the grip that the Pirelli tires offered, it is as good as a water ski on road. But it wasn't so easy for me trying to follow him. As you can see, the pressure made me make a crucial mistake which cost me a lot of gap.
Target lost.
Not got quick shift and it feels quite raw, but it's still nevertheless a lot of fun. And as you can probably see here, the tires have been used to the limit, and this part is what does the magic. This part, because this has got their the carbon compound which makes it really sticky and ready to race. And see, all the tires, they are quite worn out till the edge.
So with me is Miss Samuela Bracco. She's the marketing director for Pirelli motorcycle tires. Thank you so much for having me here all the way from India to South Africa.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful day, beautiful locations. So right down to the questions. India is an emerging market, and it's a very important market for you, definitely, because there are a lot of people who are riding, so they want a lot of tires. You had tried to come in India before through a different channel with the help of Seat, but that didn't really work out. This is the second time you're trying to come. Is there a definitive marketing strategy that you have in place, because India is a very big country?
Thanks a lot. Yes, for us, India is for sure one emerging and very important market. We have concentrated our focus on it, and in fact, in the last year, we have changed our distribution. So we are sure that we are able now to offer our product in the main channels in this market. For example, we are also in the best e-commerce channel in the Indian market. So I think that now also Indian consumer can find the Pirelli tires and can live the emotion and the passion that this kind of tires can give them with the most important and nice motorcycle that they can ride in the world.
Yes, actually I was waiting to hear that, because India is buying everything online. So tires, definitely the welcome change. The other question is that are you going to compete with the commuter motorcycles? Like, for example, there are a lot of tire companies already in India. Are you going to compete with them, or are you going to keep your tires premium? Like, they will be the best of the best.
As you know, and we have spoken also in these days during the presentation of the brand new Diablo Rosso Corsa 2, the target of a Pirelli motorcycle is the high value market. So we are talking about passion, performance, but we are talking for very premium market also from motorcycle point of view. In any case, in India we are entering also with partners like KTM Bajaj or Royal Enfield, so these are the two focus that we will have that are more linked to that market, but generally speaking we will maintain our focus on the high value, giving the most performance tire also to that market.
Okay, are you also thinking of manufacturing tires in India? Because I know that you also manufacture in China. So is there a way that you can reduce the cost of your tires, especially the superbike tires? I mean, when you import them into India, is there a way to reduce the cost?
You want to know if we will have a factory in India? For the moment, I have no information about this.
Okay. And regarding marketing, because India is a very big country, there are a lot of people who want to go into racing. Are you going to start a program where you'll hone the motorcycling talent, especially in youngsters, so that they use your tires to get to the top and probably also to the international level? So are you supporting any local racing events over there? Is it on the calendar?
For the moment, we are concentrating our strategy above all in the brand awareness that we want to have over there. From this point of view, as I told you, we will work a lot on digital platforms. That means e-commerce, but means also social media, in order to give to the users the possibility to know Pirelli as a brand for a more closed point. And also, we will work on the traditional market with the point of sales in which we want to have our presence and in which we want people to find Pirelli as a brand. From a racing point of view, we are working on it, and I think we will have some good news in the next period.
Okay, one last question. I don't suppose you'll have the answer to this, but you are one of the main sponsors for WSBK. Yeah. Will you have a hand, or will you push them to come back to India? Because we have a world-class circuit over there.
For us, as I told you, India is for sure an important market, but this kind of decision are taken not only from Pirelli side, but also from Dorna and all the other, let's say, partners of this important championship. So I think it will be a general, let's say, idea if they want to come to India. I think that for us it could be a very good opportunity. So let's see in the future what we can do.
So one last request from all of us is that please try and get all the WSBK champions one time to India just for a promotional kind of a thing. That will be really nice, guys. And all of you who are looking for a tire, Pirelli tires, they will be available soon, more widely available, I guess. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much, and good afternoon from South Africa.
In November 2016, I went to the country of San Marino, where Manuel Poggiali lives. And it's not every day that you get an interview of a world champion in his home. And here is what happened. All right, guys, good afternoon. I'm in a country called San Marino, which is actually inside Italy. So I'm here with a very special person. His name is Manuel Poggiali. And as you can read below, that he has actually beat all those people who are currently racing in the MotoGP. But let's ask him, the man himself, about when he did that and on which bike. All right. So, Manuel, thank you so much for inviting me to your home. And so to start off, we want to ask you, which bike is that behind you?
This is the bike world champion in 2001, my first championship, my first win championship. The second one is was in 2003, but this is a special bike for me because I beat many rider and old rider because I win, and it's my trophy.
So can you tell us something more about the bike, the technical, the specifications of the motorcycle?
Yes, this bike is 125cc, two-stroke, much different than the actual Moto3 bike. The electronic is not sophisticated, same like now, but it's was very easy and nice to ride this bike. I like too much.
Okay, and where did you exactly race against Jorge Lorenzo, and when you beat him?
And was it on this motorcycle?
Yes, Jorge was in Derby, and I'm in Zilera, but the bike is the same. We are in the same factory. And in this year, I beat also Dani Pedrosa. I remember he was very, very fast. I think more than Lorenzo in 2001, but me more than now.
And all these are your helmets?
Yes, these are my helmets. One of each year I ride from 99 to this year.
Okay. And that's your number. What's your number? 54.
Yeah, 54 is a long story, but is my lucky number.
54 is your lucky number.
Yeah.
Okay. And this trophy, this one.
Yes.
It was.
This is my no. This in particularly is yes, one podium in British Grand Prix in Donington Park, but this is my favorite trophy because it's my first podium in Assen in 2000. Was a trophy, emotional trophy for me.
Yeah. Okay. And Manuel, do you currently do you race or do you ride for factory test rider? Like.
At the moment, I collaborate with Ducati, with in particularly with the DRE in Italy, but also in the world. I hope to come back in Asia, same like last year this year, sorry, in Buriram. Was a nice experience, and I hope to continue with many guys in track. Was nice for me to explain my experience at the other guys.
If you want to, who's your favorite MotoGP rider today?
It's easy. Valentino Rossi is a story of motorcycle, and he was my favorite rider, but I like also Marc Marquez because he's the future of motorbike.
Some people say that Valentino Rossi is MotoGP, because if he goes.
Also for me is MotoGP because his story is incredible. He win 9 titles. We hope, all Italian hope the 10 title, but sure is difficult because at the moment Marc Marquez I think is the best rider, but the story is Valentino Rossi, sure.
Okay. Do you think there's anyone in Moto3 or Moto2 who can beat Marquez in the coming years?
Difficult because the level is high, because in world motorcycle the level is high, but I think Marquez is the future of MotoGP, the world championship of the next 10 years. Difficult, sure. Maverick Viñales was great talent, but Marquez is a little bit tight.
So you might know that Max Biaggi, he has been signed up by an Indian company for to basically do something with them, Mahindra. Do you know about that?
I don't. I know Biaggi is not my friend because the distance is important from my home to his home, but yes, he have this project, but I don't know. I don't know the potential or anymore.
Okay, there's somebody who wants to ask a question. Deep Jyoti, if it's a relevant question, we will answer you. Please type it in. So, meanwhile, Manuel, so any suggestions for people who want to take up racing, especially young people? And what do you think is the right age to start to race or learn to race?
Before possible, because especially in this world, in the actual world, in each sport, in all sport, the stars start very quickly, start at very young age. And this is important because you understand from the beginning all the secret of all sport if you practice. And sure, I start at 9 years old. I win my first championship at 18 years old. But sure, there are many riders start before than me. And sure, win more, but more win less. I'm happy for my story, and I hope my child practice sport, not in particularly motorbike or football, but I hope they practice sport.
I see there's a picture of you here. Over there. So this is from which? This was obviously. This is on the same bike.
No.
Oh, this is a Honda.
Yes, it's Honda.
Yeah.
It's my first season in Italian Championship. My first season in GP bike.
Okay.
This is one photo of 98. In 97, I ride in mini bike, in pocket bike.
Okay.
And, this is different.
This is not a pocket bike. Okay. So there's one last thing. We want to see where you live. You know, just out. Can we go outside?
Yeah, sure.
It's very beautiful. So guys, let's follow Manuel and see where he lives. Okay. Look at this, guys. So this is where Manuel.
The weather is not good at the moment. Here is autumn, winter, but in summer is completely different.
Wow. So this guys is San Marino. It's a country in its own, one of the oldest republics in the world, and this is where Manuel lives. And so, Manuel, do you practice here, like racing, because you've got a lot of roads like going, mountain.
The roads are very good here, and also the traffic is less. Yes, at the moment no, because I respect the limits in the street. I respect the other guys in street. But when 10 years ago, I practiced many times in this road for training to MotoGP or 125 or 250 season and championship. No, this is my city, and I live here from ever, and it's Pacific, and I like more.
So, if you have to actually practice, where do you go? Like, do you go to Misano, or is there a track here?
Yes, the track near it's sure Misano. It's 40 kilometers from here. 1 hour of street. But at the moment, I ride many time in Mugello. In Italy, I think is my best circuit. But I hope to come again in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, in Sepang circuit, because it's one of my favorite track in the world. And also I hope in the future, I don't know when, but I hope to come again in Phillip Island, who is my favorite track.
Manuel, you are invited to India because we also have a F1 world-class track in Delhi, where I live. So I'm sure you like that track as well.
Yeah, I hope. Why not in one experience of Ducati in DRE in India was a pleasure for me. Was a pleasure for each guys who participate. It's one experience, and it's very very important to stay in this experience and to improve our best or our experience together for a nice day.